Are you show calling or producing a virtual event and in need to have a virtual comms solution to stay in touch with your team, your talent, or your client? Maybe you've just missed having those really big over-the-head earphones with the little microphone and the little battery pack on your hip as you run around the venues. Well, today I actually have 2 solutions for you that should help you with your show calling and production communication needs during your next virtual event, so stick around. I'm Logan Clements, freelance event producer, and I do want to remind you before we get into the content to like, subscribe, turn on that little notification bell so you hear from me every single Monday when I drop new videos. If you're someone who loves free things and checklists, which most event people do, head over to my website, loganstrategygroup.com, and you can get a free checklist for me with my top 6 questions that I like to ask virtual event platforms. It's not all the questions you should ask, but it's definitely 6 that I see a lot of people forget. Well, I do love a good walkie-talkie setup or over-the-head comms system when we're at an in-person venue. There are a couple solutions that I've found when I've been trying to simulate that exact same experience for myself and my production team while we've been virtual. And today I'm going to give you 2 solutions that you can utilize to either stay in contact, say you're a show caller and you need to give the cues to your engineering or production team or cue your speaker, or you're someone who's just looking to coordinate efforts with multiple people in different locations and you can't ship them all a walkie-talkie that would work that far. I have 2 applications that'll work just for you. One is paid and one is free because we love free stuff, but also sometimes paid is great as well. The first one is Unity. It's Unity Cloud Communications. You might have to Google it. There's another website that has it, where it's like Unity Communications or something like that, but I'll link below so you can go there. And what it is it's an application that you can install on your phone or a tablet, and it essentially mirrors a multi-channel radio system. It's pretty affordable. You can pay either like $30 a month to have 3 users at all times, or you can do one-off leases that they do for 7 days just for your event. So my other video that I'll link to above, where I talk about producing 25 hours of content in 12 hours, we utilized the Unity app during that. And I think we ended up paying around $100 to have up to 10 or 11 people on that Unity comms together. And so the great part is it allows you to have multi-channels, and you as the admin can set who has access to what channels. So this is great because, you'd have an A and B and a C channel, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 channels if we were in person. Same thing, Unity can support up to 6 channels, and you can control, some production members get all 6 channels, some people just have 1. You could have 1 channel with just you and the client, and they only see channel 1, but you actually have 1 through 6. And it's also got a lovely direct voice messaging feature, so you can directly message someone, and it has the twofold where you can either hold it down to talk, push to talk just like a walkie-talkie, or you can double tap and have it on Vox, so it's just an open channel. This is really helpful, especially if you are calling the show and calling all the cues. You don't need to have your hand on something. My only caveat with this app and why it probably won't replace in-person technology once we're able to do in-person things is the app does not play well if you take phone calls. So if you take a phone call, it'll disconnect you usually from the app. You'll have to reconnect. Pretty easy to do, but could be a bother if you're running around in person. And the other part is it does eat up a little bit of your phone battery in a way that if you were in person at a venue, you would probably also have to have like a charger pack with you if you were doing a very long show. It's great for a virtual solution because if you're sitting here, you can have your phone plugged in the whole time, or for at least part of the day, it's not hard to get a charger. But just something to think about if you take this tech into the in-person world. And my other version, which is free, is called Discord. If you're someone who's into gaming and live streaming, you might already be aware of Discord, and this is nothing new to you. But if you're an event professional, you might not be familiar with this platform. Discord is similar to Unity, where it gives you those talk channels and you can have open channels with people, but it's also similar to Slack, where you can also have like a text chain that essentially you can drop files and open channels that people can talk about different interests. Now, the text channels and the voice channels are different, but the great part of this, it is free and you can create different voice channels. The negative compared to Unity is you can't do that one-to-one communication very easily with someone if you were trying to ping someone specific and trying to have a very specific conversation with them that everyone else doesn't need to hear. Discord's not set up for that, but it is set up if you are to call a show and you want to have your whole production team on one channel, the show caller, the streaming engineer, the backstage manager, everybody all on one channel. You can very easily do that in Discord, and you can do it free. My only other drawback with Discord that I've heard from those that use it a lot more often is for Unity, you would have a different login for different events, or if you were the owner of the account, you could have the same login no matter what event you go to. But for Discord, it is all linked to like your personal account. And so if you're online and talking on a channel for an event, based on your settings, your friends who know you from other events, or if you're into gaming or whatever it is, they'll also see you're online and they might start asking you questions or sending you messages. And so that's the only other negative. It's essentially the same as like Facebook or MySpace used to be, where it would say that you're here and available. So not a big deal, but if you're really popular, I've had a couple streaming engineers who've said that's a drawback to using Discord. But both platforms I love. They were a great solution, blew my mind when it came to event production, and are very easy to utilize from your home. And they're a great way to set up an easy communication channel with yourself, anybody else on your event production team, with your client if you want. And it's a little less clunky than just doing a phone call. Granted, I'm always a big fan of DIY. If it's just you and one other person helping do the production for your event, you guys can do a phone call, that's fine. But if you start to have 2, 3, 4, 5 people, or need multiple things happening at once, and you don't necessarily need there to be cross chatter on your communications, I would highly recommend utilizing a tool like Unity or like Discord, both of which are linked below. That's all I got for you folks. I'm Logan Clements, freelance event producer. This has been another installment of my favorite tips and tricks when it comes to event production, strategy, and running my own business. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye.